Diesel brings his game to South Beach as Shaq Daddy plays host to the King and his Cavs.
From Windermere, Florida, Tiger Woods.
The Tour Championship marks the return of Tiger, but could hear a superstar field of champs in the honeymoon for VJ. And the next hockey powerhouse is Akbar's Kazan. The Russian team grabs a couple of more NHL stars.
We just can't wait to hit somebody.
Pinball, and the Argos can't wait for their showdown with Hamilton. And out west, the war of words is on.
They got a couple of people on their line that probably couldn't play at my high school.
Rocket into the sunset. Roger Clemens ponders another retirement. Week 8 was not kind to the big man. Schultze's focused on the key game in the Keystone State, and a couple of Raptors do their best on hearsay.
The great one.
Michael Jordan.
With a stick.
Green Gertie.
The Wayner would be proud. Sportscentre is next.
Had to run all the way over from the other studio. 20th anniversary show, which, by the way, was very enjoyable.
It was fantastic.
We had to cut out, though. We did a top 20 celebrities from Porcupine Plain,
right,
which had to get cut in the end.
I know,
you were
but
number
21st.
I know, you just missed it. But let's move on to the next 20 years, and let's the next 20 years begin tonight with some hoops. And Miami welcomes Shaq.
Absolutely, the beginning of a new era down there, and he's doing everything he possibly can to try and get his basketball team a victory tonight. American Airlines Arena, the place to be in South Florida. Not only is Shaq making his home debut, but another star is also on the court. Guess who's in town? LeBron. Early on, Shaq gives the fans what they came to see. That being a big presence inside. O'Neal dominating the paint, taking Zydrunas Ilgauskas to school. Diesel 7 early. He was feeling it. After Udonis Haslem misses, look who goes after the loose ball at Shaq. Here comes 340 pounds of man beef. Get out of the way. He's going to kill somebody. He's doing whatever it takes. Another guy who's going to win a lot of hearts this year is Dwayne Wade. He was great last year, great this year. Big dunk. Heat led it by 7. Cavs cut the lead to 1 thanks to James. Little banker off the glass. But Shaq, he's a hungry man. The team keeps feeding him down low. Tractor trailer, Anderson Varejao, you are no match. But despite Shaq's heroics, LeBron would get his club back into it. Nice dish to Varejao. And then the steal and the touchdown toss to Drew Gooden. It's good. Count it. Heat by 3 at the half. They continue to play in Miami in the third quarter now. Heat leading 63-60 so far. Shaq Daddy, 14 points, 8 boards. As for Wade, 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. As for King James, 11 points and counting. We'll update it for you a little later on, James.
For now, the expansion Charlotte Bobcats, their first ever game hosting the Wizards. Who would score the franchise's first basket? Why, it's Primo Brizek making history. A really tiny, tiny piece of history none of us will ever remember. Late in the quarter, number 2 overall pick, Emeka Okafor. Big dunk, and the Bobcats up 1 after the first. Second quarter, Gerald Wallace opened the alley. But it would be the Wizards who hold a 49-45 advantage at the half. Why, look, it's rap star and part owner Nelly enjoying the activity, and he'll like this. It's a little bit of and a little bit of
He's too soft for me.
19 points in his deep.
Hardcore enough for
Nelly or Okafor?
both.
All right, Gilbert Arenas to Jared Jeffries. That puts the Wiz up by 5. And Juan Dixon helping Washington pull away back-to-back threes. Antoine Jameson, by the way, 34 last night, and a nice runner to finish off here. A game-high 24 as the Wizards spoil the debut of the Bobcats. 103-96 is the final. Okafor, 19 points, 10 boards for Charlotte. The Bobcats failing to become the 3rd straight NBA expansion team to win their inaugural game. Remember, both Toronto and Vancouver did. As a tribute to our 20th anniversary special, which just aired, I thought tonight I'd recycle old intros, metaphors, and catchphrases that I used over the past 2 decades. Actually, I do that every night, but here goes again. The PGA Tour Championship has a loaded field. More stars than the cast of St. Elmo's Fire. Where's the beef? Oh, it's right here. I haven't seen this much talent in one place since the Men at Work Mr. double bill I saw last month. And Vijay Singh, hotter than Winnie Cooper on the Wonder Years. No way. That's pretty much the same stuff every night. I know, no different, right? VJ, 9 wins on the season already. There's Ernie and Tiger on the practice tee. First hole, Retief Goosen. Deep rough, still goes for the green, and this is pretty. Gets a little help from the rough and the apron, which spins it back, and Goosen would birdie. First hole, VJ picking up where he leaves off every week. Nice and tight, he would birdie, and just like that, Mr. Singh is 1 under. Here's second hole, and that's lefty who's pretty good from that area. Yeah, the chip is good for birdie. He's back to even par. Jerry Kelly, par 3-11, short birdie putt. He goes to 3 under. Also a tie for the lead with this man, Darren Clark. Very large cameraman getting this shot, tall guy. That's a birdie, the outright lead. Clark at 4 under. Back to the 8th. There's Ernie, and that must have been nasty stuff because it doesn't go anywhere. He would fall to 1 over with the bogey. Tiger having a rough day on the 10th, still thinking about Ellen on the yacht. And this goes nowhere. He would bogey. We're all still thinking about Ellen on the yacht, aren't we? To the 15th, Mark Hensby is the first guy you think about when you think about the Tour Championship. That would be an eagle, the 2 under. Mike Weir from the sand. Long bunker shot, but that's very nicely done. It was a par 5. He would birdie. 1 shot off the lead. Back to the 12th. Tiger. Ellen. Sunbathing. Naked. 30 yards short. He would bogey, drops to 1 over. No, that's not the visual I wanted. That's weird. Stays 1 shot off the lead. Yeah, that is weird. He stays at 2 under. 18th, that's Chris DeMarco for birdie. First birdie on 18 of the day. DeMarco finishes at 2 over. To the 17th, VJ. That for birdie after he'd sent 1 back. VJ moves to 1 under par.
You know she got a twin.
I know that. That's the most exciting part of the whole thing.
Yeah, do that again. Work that in.
Ellen, twin, Dutchie, naked. That's Mickelson off the green, monster for extra bases. Singh and Mickelson finish with pars. VJ is 2 shots off the lead. You know, you see, I had a real good image going, and day 1 saw 13 rounds under par, 15 players within 3 shots of the lead.
Your image is not good.
If VJ Singh can make up the 2-shot deficit by Sunday, which he probably will, let's face it, he's VJ. It'll be his 10th victory of the season. The last player to win 10 or more times on the PGA Tour was Sam Snead. He won 11 back in 1950. And just to refresh your memory, TSN has a lot of golf on our network, including this Tour Championship, the 2nd round, Friday, noon Eastern. We're on the air.
Coming off a Stanley Cup win and a World Cup win in which he was the most valuable player, even with the lockout, Vincent Lecavalier is still on top of the world. No, I mean it. He's soon going to be on top of the world. Today he signed with Akbars Kazan of the Russian Elite League, and later this month he will report to Kazan, which is on the far east of Russia. If you look it up on the internet, it's really pretty interesting. Although I think I accidentally ended up ordering a Russian mail-order bride. Man, is my wife going to be some kind of upset when she shows up for Christmas. Now, terms of the deal have not been disclosed, but it's believed to be worth as much as $300,000 US for every month that Lecavalier stays in Russia. He also says that his Lightning teammate Brad Richards is on board as well. However, as of last week, his agent Patty Morris said they were negotiating a contract. Meanwhile, Alexei Kovalev has apparently signed with the club as well. He had 45 points in 78 games last season with both New York and Montreal. You know, in the U.S., where 24 of the 30 NHL teams reside, hockey ranks below arena football and on par with roller derby. Here north of the border, it's a little more important, and according to a poll conducted by the Hockey News, Canadians would watch replacement players. More than 71% of the roughly 3,000 respondents voted yes, while 29% indicated they're only interested in watching the world's best players. Now, the 13th annual Bell Mobility Celebrity Gala benefiting the Sick Kids Foundation was held Thursday night in Toronto. The goal to raise $500,000 for the kids, but the talk when it came to the hockey players had to do with the lockout.
Everybody's saying it's not looking great, but these things can turn around in a hurry too. I was part of it last time round when it looked like it wasn't going to happen, and then in the last few days it did happen.
As an owner, I can't say anything about it, so but it is unfortunate for all the fans out there, especially the fans in Canada, fans across the world, but hopefully we'll make a deal soon and get back on the ice.
When I was covering the Ottawa Senators during their first playoff run in 1997, one of the most underappreciated and under-interviewed players was a quiet Latvian kid named Sergei Zholtok. Microphones never went near him because he didn't speak English very well. Too bad, because those who did approach Zholtok were rewarded with thoughtful, almost philosophical answers to every question. He was not your typical walking hockey cliche. Zholtok would end up as an NHL journeyman. Suddenly, tragically, that journey ended Wednesday. He died minutes after a game in Belarus. He was just 31 years old.
It's a guy that we all knew so well. He played with us for a couple of years in Minnesota. We were saying, you know, it's a guy we'd love to have around. Great team spirit. Always a smile on his face, and you know, when you know his family, his wife, and his kids, those are the people you try to help at this point.
I played with him in Ottawa, and I played with him in Minnesota, and I was roommate with him for a while, and he was a great person. And the guy who came to America with he was willing to learn everything from the way we live to the language, and he was really, and his kids the same thing. So it was, he had a great attitude, and it was just a shame.
There was an autopsy today. Results are still not yet known. European news reports say Zholtok suffered from cardiac arrhythmia. He did miss a couple of games last year with mysterious health problems. That included dizziness and fatigue. Still to come on Sportscentre. One day to their Eastern Semi Showdown.
We know we got a little swagger about ourselves.
We'll preview the Argos and Ticats' biggest game in 5 years.
They're a scary football team.
The Rocket says he's ready to retire again. But this time, the reason's more personal.
Hopefully, when I have that chance to go into the Hall of Fame, I don't want to speak to two empty chairs.
And moving across town,
We just did cartwheels.
the Mets hire a longtime Yankee as their new manager. Details next on SportsCenter.
SportsCenter, brought to you by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian. And by Hyundai. When you can get everything you want in a car and Canada's best warranty, you win.
Welcome back to the show. You know, they don't call him pinball for nothing. Mike Clemens is like the Energizer Bunny on speed and about the same size. He can't wait for tomorrow's playoff game against the Ticats, and neither can we. You got two age-old rivals who are meeting at Toronto for the first time since 1987. John Liu has more on what is going to be a smash-mouth game.
If the Eastern Semi is decided at the line of scrimmage, Hamilton's front four, bookended by the league's top two sack artists, Joe Montford and Tim Cheatwood, will have had big hands in it. Literal and figurative pressure for Damon Allen, who's unconcerned with the Argos' last-place ranking in points and passing.
You can talk about statistical numbers and all these things, and, you know, we're the lowest scoring team, but, you know, our record shows that we're a lot better than a lot of teams that probably score more than us.
We know we got a little swagger about ourselves, but we know that if all four of us are doing what we're capable of doing, we should dominate the game.
They're a scary football team. They may have the best defensive front in the whole league. May probably have got the best pure passer in the league.
That pure passer, Danny McManus, will